Welcome to livingpianos.com. Today we're going to talk about what was the peak year for piano sales in the United States. Well, did you know at the turn of the century, that is the 20th century, before television or radio or any of that, the piano was the de facto home entertainment system for families in the United States. Not only that, but player pianos became incredibly popular. If you ever saw player piano rolls, you'll see that they actually have the words to the song that's scrolling by so that the family could gather around the piano and sing those songs along with the piano. Not only that, but there were little controls, levers, so that whoever was playing the player piano, typically pumping it with their feet, they could control the treble and the bass volume and other aspects of the sound. Some of them even had ways of interacting with the sound, like putting little tiny tacks in front of each of the hammers with a lever to get different sounds. So it was really fun and they were immensely popular. So let's give a rundown here. Going all the way back, let's start at the beginning of the 20th century. In the year 1900, about 171,000 pianos were sold in the United States. Now that's pretty astounding. But the peak year, just a few years later in 1909, there were around 365,000 pianos. That's an amazing number when you consider there were only about 90 million people in the country, about a quarter of what it is today. So you went from 365,000 in 1909, and then the Great Depression and radio, pow, 1932 went down to 27,000. That's an astounding decline in piano sales. Now, there were actually time when no pianos were sold in the United States, and that was during World War II. From about 1943 to 1945, the piano factories converted to defense type of manufacturing. Baldwin factory, for example, they were producing parts for planes. So there were no pianos produced. And then, of course, it started to pick up after World War II. And by 1978, it was kind of a peak year of 282,000 pianos. Of course, at that time, there were 223 million people, about 2.5 times as many as in 1909, with fewer pianos being sold. Now, 282,000 in 1978. Let's flash forward to 2020. Only 21,000 pianos were sold in the entire country in 2020. Now, these are new piano sales. Naturally, as the years go on, there are more and more used pianos sold in the country, and not all of those are counted in these figures. So you have to take it with a grain of salt. Now, that was at the start of COVID. By 2021, it had gone up to 29,000 roughly. Now, when you consider that there's 332 million people in the country in 2021 compared to 1909, that's really a tremendous decline in the number of pianos sold. But nevertheless, that's what it is. Now, there are digital pianos sold today and a plethora of used pianos being sold on eBay and Piano Mart, as well as right here on livingpianos.com, where we restore used pianos because there's so many instruments that go by the wayside, and our mission is to rescue the ones that are worthy of restoration. Living Pianos, bringing new life to pianos. I hope this is interesting information for you, and anything that we can do to increase the interest and love for pianos, we do it right here. Leave your comments. Tell us how you like the piano and what sort of pianos you like to play on the comments here at livingpianos.com, your online piano resource. Thanks so much for joining me.